What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 90 of the Backmarkers F1 Show. This is going to be the recap of the Italian Grand Prix, and we're also going to condense some Magello and some breaking news into it, which we're going to get to in a little bit. A lot going on in the F1 world, but anyways, I'm glad that everybody could join us. Chris, Tyler, and Shaker here along. We're a couple days removed from what was definitely my favorite race in recent memory, if not all time. I know we can make some arguments as to what was the best race ever, but for me personally, this was my favorite. This was my favorite race.
Wow.
In my own personal list.
Okay.
I just thoroughly enjoyed it on every level. I enjoyed obviously the podium, the red flag, everything which we're gonna get into. But I guess we'll just maybe start with just some general thoughts. What did you guys think of that Italian Grand Prix?
Yeah, I thought I had a roller coaster of emotions for this race, guys. I was like, at the beginning, I thought it was going to be kind of boring. Like the first, 5 laps, I'm like, okay, well, this is just seeming like Spa. And then, yeah, it just started to get more and more interesting. And then the red flag happened, which I had never witnessed before. So I was like, what the hell is going on? And then, yeah, it was, I came back, and I think it was probably right before the red flag, right before they went into the red flag, and Gasly had put on the hard tires, and I was like, oh my God, he's in the best position to be winning this race. I'm like going, and then it happened. And then it happened, guys.
It happened.
I don't even know how to describe it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, no, I was at the cottage, and so I didn't get to watch it live, unfortunately, which sucks because I would like to see it live. But I was tuning in on my phone and just watching the race, or I guess following along with it, and I said, screw it. And I turned on because I streamed it for the last 7 laps to watch the chase between Sainz and Gasly, and it was fantastic. I had such a good time. People were talking to me, and I was completely zoned out on the race. And because we don't have TV up at the cottage or anything like that. And it was awesome. So I went back, rewatched the race, knowing everything that happened, and I followed along. And it was very enjoyable. Maybe that's why I don't have the direct emotion of you saying, oh, it was the best, maybe up there for the best of all time, because I didn't watch it live. But it was a very, very entertaining race. Even in the end, the PVRing and watching it on replay, I was engaged the whole time, which is hard to do when you know the result of a race.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, absolutely. And especially when you're watching it live, you had a good idea that, okay, we might get a first-time winner here between Stroll or Gasly or Sainz, but you weren't really sure, because even when Hamilton got sent back to the grid, I'm like, man, I wouldn't be surprised if he storms back on to win.
I said the same thing too. I would not be surprised if he came back up. Yeah, the other reason I had roller coaster emotions, because I thought Charles was gone during that incident. When I first saw it during the initial first camera angle, I'm like, oh my God, I really hope he's okay.
What a cut that was, right?
Right? Literally just to him running into the barrier, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
What? So that's, I literally had I was all over the place for this race.
Yeah, no, props to the director and the technical director on switching to the camera very quickly.
That was not a director call for sure.
Yeah,
that was definitely a technical director call.
Yeah. I'm not sure if they were watching an onboard or if they just saw him lose it and then cut right to it. But I think that was the problem, right? Is they cut almost a second before he hit the barrier, so it just looked really, really bad.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was. I mean, he lost it at really high speeds at the Parabolica. But obviously, the safety has gone a long way, and the barrier did do its job, but they had to replace the barrier, which caused the red flag. But glad that Leclerc was okay. But I'd like to say a big thanks to Kevin Magnussen, because Kevin Magnussen popped off that race for us.
Driver of the day.
Honestly, you might as well give it to him.
And he had the best radio of the weekend too, where it's like, ooh, something's broken. Just this is normal.
Yeah.
But
it's a thing.
It is a
in the car.
Yeah, something is broken. But kudos to K-Mag, and I just want to put in that I am continuing the trend where soccer jerseys.
Oh yes,
footy jerseys tell the story of the race, and we've got a Paris Saint-Germain jersey.
See,
right from Paris.
Tyler didn't call us up for this incident. We could have set up this table as a podium.
We could have.
So he could have been Paris. I guess I would have been Looking in that
Montreal
direction.
Impact.
Yeah, it would have been Montreal Impact. Yeah, and then
for Lance, and you could have had a
Barcelona. Well, no, I
Barcelona.
don't think Carlos likes Barcelona.
What is he? Is he from Madrid?
I think he's a Madrid
I think
fan.
he's a Madrid, but
Okay.
if he seems like an Atletico fan.
I don't know. We should find out.
We should
Yeah,
find out.
I think it's Madrid though. Yeah.
I don't know if Gasly's a PSG fan.
He
Probably
is.
Not.
Oh,
Oh,
he
is
is.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's a huge. Well, he might be a Real fan because I know he's a huge Zidane fan, and that's why he took the number 10.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
That's a good story.
Fun fact.
Yeah, that's a great fact.
I think a few weeks ago he came in with the Mbappe shirt. Maybe it was the Hungarian Grand Prix or something. So
Okay.
I think he actually got a call from Neymar and Mbappe after after race win.
Not a big deal.
Nice.
He had a few missed calls on
Yeah.
Sunday, I think,
Yeah.
right? So
You'd think.
yeah, well, one from the president, and Pierre's like, yeah, fuck off. I got more important people to talk
Mbappe
to.
is calling.
Yeah. Oh, Neymar's on the line? Yeah, put him through.
Yeah. No, so that's why I'm wearing the PSG jersey for Pierre. And yeah, this one is from Paris too.
Yeah, so it's
legit
authentic.
from the store. So
Champs-Élysées.
yeah, it's got Ibra on the back.
Yeah,
In case
greatest
you're wondering.
greatest PSG player in history.
More greatness to go all around.
That's right.
That's right. Beautiful. Maybe next podium we'll do that. We'll see if we can.
Yeah, so we
I
can
just
coordinate
realized
something.
it's like the same number as Gasly and everything too.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah, actually,
it
that's
is.
true. It is.
It did not click
Number
to
10.
me.
Man.
Unfortunately, you can't turn around because it's going to look weird. But
Yeah, it
I,
doesn't-
trust me, folks. It is number 10.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't work.
yeah. So one, and you know what? As we're on the topic, maybe we can pull up the clip of the French commentators calling the final third of the lap, because I just thought that this was brilliant. Even if you don't understand a lick of French, which even though we do live in Ottawa and right next to Quebec, I don't.
Oh,
But-
yeah.
But it's
I
beautiful.
understood like the main details.
Yeah.
Pierre Gasly won.
You see what he's saying here is. So much pressure at this moment.
Oh, man.
Saying he's harvesting energy.
ans.
24 years and how many days? Yeah.
I think it's 20 something days or something.
See, we're bilingual. How awesome is that?
That is so
Like,
cool.
see, even what is it? 3-4 days after the race,
Oh, I
it's
gotta-
still
I was
like,
still like wide-eyed
got
watching
chills.
like
this.
give it a round of applause, cheering him on.
I've got chills.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do have chills.
That's so cool, man. I don't know if there was a person that follows the sport that wasn't happy with that result.
Oh, yeah.
You know the best sportsman-like conduct who it came from this entire weekend? Toto Wolff. I don't know if
really?
you guys saw his interview after the race, and his little interview. He was just like, he's like, I am not upset today. This is great for F1, great for Pierre Gasly, great for AlphaTauri.
Better not
I
be
am
upset.
very happy for them today. Oh, like he didn't. I almost want to pull it up. You guys got it. Was one of those moments where I was like, oh, he's human.
Yeah, it must be a rare moment. This is good for F1.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, oh, he's not being robotic right now. This is interesting.
Total, you ruined F1. No, you didn't. To be fair.
What a name.
The kitchen sink is the expression you threw at them today. But Charles, were you happy with the way that it played out at the front?
I think this is.
Yeah, is this
This is
the-
2019.
Yeah.
No,
they're
it totally
not wearing
is.
masks.
Yeah, you're right. I was just like, something seems off right here. Oh my god! Please just give me the right
I'll
one.
take your word for it.
It's okay. We'll
Yeah.
take your word for it.
Well,
if
and-
you find it, we'll cut to it.
Yeah, and the other one, Grosjean too. Grosjean was
Yeah,
very happy.
Grosjean was very happy. He was like, he jumped into Pierre's arms almost. It looked
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, after the race, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, same with
Giovinazzi.
Charles. I mean, I know he's Monaco, but I mean,
It's close.
it's
They're
close.
beside each other.
It's
yeah.
close. I know they're really good friends and everything. So
No, that was very cool. And like I kind of thought after the race too, coming off the Belgian Grand Prix with Antoine Hubert, his
Yeah.
year and a bit now after the passing of Antoine, and just the French connection. I thought was kind of a cool little touch as well. I placed a little bit of my memory there, being like, oh, that's kind of fitting. It could have been nice was at Belgium, but
Yeah.
pretty cool that he ended up winning.
Well, just the whole redemption story. Like last summer, at the same time as when he got demoted, obviously when he lost his friend Antoine, and then a year later he's now won a race, which he probably didn't expect. Nobody else really would have expected. So the whole full circle redemption story is really nice. So super excited and ecstatic for Pierre.
There's a picture after the race of Horner and
Helmet.
Oh yes, thank you. Helmet talking after the race, and you're like, oh, I wonder what this
the conversation.
Is about.
I don't think they can do it. I mean, you know who I feel the hardest for right now? Like, despite all, like, you know, the people who lost the race, Alex Albon.
I know.
That kid is probably in his own head right now, just fucking losing his fucking mind.
Well, he had contact with Gasly on lap 1.
Yeah.
If you guys remember that. So how different everything could have, changed that way if he would have went out of the race, which easily could have happened. So I think it's tough, right, though, to see that. But at the same time, I think Gasly... And I touched about it in my opinion article yesterday about where should Gasly go next or what he should do next. I don't think going back to Red Bull at the moment is a good idea.
He's in such a good groove right now. Just leave him where he is.
I think Red Bull they've haven't really figured themselves out yet, and they just can easily blame it on the second driver. But I think they're going to need to wait, or I think Gasly is going to need to wait to see if Red Bull can build an actual championship contending car on 2022, and then maybe move over. But hell, I mean, you've won the same amount of races as Verstappen has in 2020. So
that's true.
Why move?
Yeah, he was. When's the last time we've had a non-top 3 win?
2013, Kimi Räikkönen in Australia.
Good one.
Yeah. I heard it repeated a bunch of times.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Well, yeah, with Lotus.
Lotus.
Eh? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Lotus. That's right. Yeah. No, I mean, such a cool little moment there. And a first career victory. I guess Charlotte did it last year.
What?
But
here's another question, because I don't know, I might be wrong about this. Was the last red flag incident where they had to stop the race Jules Bianchi in 2014?
No,
it probably would have.
I know there's been red flags the last couple of years, but they're never, like, have they stopped the race like
Baku.
that?
Yeah, Baku 2017.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because people were drawing parallels. So it's funny that Pierre Gasly gets his first career victory in an AlphaTauri Toro Rosso in Monza, same way Vettel did in 2008. First career victory in a Toro Rosso. And then other people pointing out that the last time Lance Stroll was on a podium was because of a red flag situation, Baku in 2017.
Oh.
And also in that race, Kimi Räikkönen's teammate got a 10-second stop-go penalty. Vettel when he ran into Hamilton purposely, and now Giovinazzi when he drove in the pit lane. So people were making this interesting,
it's a crazy
numerology or whatever that term is. When they kind of the stars align, whatever, if you believe in that type of stuff. And there's a lot of really interesting parallels in that sense.
Wow, crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
And
so basically, what you're saying, if we want somebody that's not Ferrari, Red Bull, or Lewis Hamilton, the top 3 teams need to have a 10-second violation.
Yes.
And a red flag.
But it needs to happen more than halfway into the race.
Not in the first 2 laps.
If you see Kevin Magnussen parking his car at the beginning of the pit lane, you know some shit's going down.
He's doing it again.
Yes.
He's being paid to do it.
I think we're going to have to, when his team radio, maybe that was planned. They're like, pull over. We need an exciting race.
Right here. No, stop. Just stop right in front of the pit lane.
Should I box? No. Stop right there.
Just
Stop right there.
No, nailed it. Which ultimately led to Hamilton screwing up. Well, I guess that's not Hamilton's fault. Mercedes screwing up.
No, it is
both their
100%.
It's both their faults. Hamilton should have read the X's on the side, and Mercedes should have been like the classic, like no, so go out.
Yeah, that was with Kimi, eh?
No, that was with Hamilton in
Germany.
Was that okay?
2018,
Yeah. Yes.
Which he did not get a penalty for that incident.
No.
That was funny. I think I would argue that he should have seen the second yellow or red flag with the cross on it. And again, the communication as well. But apparently, like, he didn't hear or didn't understand the first message, so I'm not exactly sure what the breakdown was.
You can tell by the time
crazy
he got
how he understands messages when it benefits him.
Yeah. When you could tell though, like, he didn't get that message until he was already in pit lane, and he like kind of like threw one of his arms up, like, what? Like, what are you talking about?
Well, and then that whole thing where during the red flag, he jumps on the scooter and goes to the steward's office.
I had no idea how that happened.
Yeah,
I saw him jump on the scooter.
Yeah, he drove like through the pit lane, or not drove on the scooter, but I guess, pedaled his scooter through the pit lane and then went up into the steward's office. And I guess he was trying to make his case for why he shouldn't get a penalty. But they brought Giovinazzi's penalty pretty quickly, which was interesting because he pitted after Hamilton. So I was hoping that they weren't going to, like, not give him a penalty.
No, I think they just knew Giovinazzi was, like, cut and clear. They're like, yeah, no, I don't know why they did that.
Right, because it would have came later, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, get it.
They were kind of reviewing film on Hamilton, but still. No.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, if you basing it completely on video, if you looked at like the replay, which they showed like 30 seconds after the incident happened, you could see the red flag like probably almost like 2 seconds before he passes it. So
it's
if I'm a driver, I mean, which I'm not, I would be looking for a flag trying to get in the pit lane to see if anything happened, because obviously he saw the incident.
Right.
Because he obviously mentioned it was because of that Ferrari incident or the Magnussen incident. So he obviously saw a car on the side.
Yeah.
And something happened. So like, should you not be paying attention to a flag if you've been a driver for almost 15 years?
It's very rare though in F1 that they close the pit lane.
Yeah,
and like Tyler, you'll know from NASCAR and IndyCar, like that's a common occurrence under a full course caution that they'll close pit road.
They close pit road right when the caution comes out. And then you do your little pace lap or whatever. And if if you're in the crash, you go down the pit lane or whatever to get some service.
Yeah.
But then they'll open it for everyone to come down and pit, which makes it very exciting.
Yeah.
But
so that's
maybe you do that with. Now I'm always trying to change. I know we had a comment on our last thing. Stop trying these. We're Americans. We're not American. We're Canadian.
That's like
That's
so many different comments.
Yeah, that's very insulting.
Don't insult me like that. But if you stack everyone up in the safety car like what NASCAR does, and then like do a lap in a safety car, everyone's together, catches up, and then you open the pits, and just a cluster that would be in the pits would be kind of wild.
Because the pits are really small too, so it's just like cars trying to go in and
double
out.
Stack it. Like it would be too much.
It would be way too much. They can't handle 4 cars in the pit lane sometimes.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah. But anyways, that's why I think I can't even remember the last time we ever had something like that happen in F1. So could understand some mess ups there, but I guess in a surprise to see Mercedes do it. But I'm happy because again, look at the race that we got. So I think Mercedes, let me play them a song on the world's smallest violin. Like
you're still winning the world championship.
Yeah.
They'll decimate everybody this weekend.
What happened to Valtteri? Valtteri had a very tough race, didn't he?
He had a puncture, bro.
He didn't.
Clear.
Yeah, I know. He had a team that wanted Hamilton to win.
I don't know. I guess he was complaining about his engine mode, but I don't know why they wouldn't give him the same one as Lewis. I don't know what was going on there. I know it's the first week of that new engine mode. People are, but he brought us an exciting race. It really hurt the Red Bulls apparently because I don't know where they were.
You could feel the frustration coming from Valtteri because he knew he had more engine modes and he just wasn't getting them.
Yeah.
So like,
it was a yoke.
A yoke, yeah. It was a yoke.
I understand it was hot and they were dealing with the dirty air, but why was Hamilton able to go from 18th to 17th place or 7th place? Sorry.
Yeah. No. Exactly.
Yeah. It's just. Sure, 22 seconds of clean air, but that clean air should not benefit you.
That much, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's kind of crazy.
I'm not sure if he had any damage from the sort of tight turn 1 incidents, but I don't think he got hit too much. So was he turning down the engine because of overheating, or was he not allowed to maybe use the scenario 2 because of the engine ban? I'm not really sure what happened, but he struggled all race. Like Ricciardo got by him, which, oh, by the way, I was a little bit worried and almost scared to see the Ricciardo lawn mowing service back on Sunday.
Oh.
But luckily
Wait, what?
Well, remember in Australia last year when he went onto the grass in Australia and his front wing exploded?
Yeah.
Oh,
and he did that again. I think it was on the second restart.
Yeah.
He passed Max going into turn 1, and I was like, oh no, here we go again. But stay in the race.
Oh, so this was my theory. Sorry, I remember I was like trying to think why because Valtteri was ahead of Max Verstappen and then Sainz was ahead of him, correct?
At the beginning of the race?
At the beginning of the race? And then Hamilton had a Sainz?
Valtteri was second, Sainz was third.
So Bottas blew the start from lights out.
I don't think Valtteri was second.
Yeah.
I think he
qualified second.
No, but I think he blew the start.
Yeah.
I'm talking about in like right off like the first like 5 or 10 laps or so. I think
he was
yeah.
like down like P5, P6?
But like 6 because Ricciardo passed him at Ascari.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just thought they were just trying to hold everybody else back and give Hamilton more of a lead, is what my theory was.
Yeah, it was weird, but I mean, Bottas really kind of screwed it up in that sense. And he screwed up a lot of starts this year. If you go back to Hungary and a couple other ones, so
you can tell he was pretty pissed off. He was like, "What is going on here?"
Yeah. Well, he's had a pretty bad year, to be honest with you.
He has
kind of like a 2018 style year.
Yeah.
So it's a bit strange in that sense.
We need Valtteri 4.0 next year.
4.0, yeah. 3.0.
3.0 wasn't good.
Yeah.
2.0 was good.
Yeah, 2.0 was good. We just need a hardware update for that one, and then we'll be good. But yeah, it was fun to see some of those cars out of position and getting Ricciardo and those in the mix as well. So I'm happy to see that happened in that case. But is there a game update?
Yeah, there's a game update. It's 98-98 going in overtime.
Oh, this is folks are talking about the Raptors and Celtics game going on here. That is the National Basketball Association.
Anyways.
Yeah.
No, we're not a basketball podcast.
no, sorry.
Not today, at least.
Means a
Not
lot.
today.
All right, so moving off of Valtteri's pace, the other note I had is obviously Vettel's brake failure, which was hilarious. Well, I mean, not that funny because it's really dangerous, but
They have been probably the best spot of the best.
Yeah,
spot.
it definitely did.
Literally the
Yeah.
safest spot it could have happened on the track.
No, I don't think it's the safest spot because it's a hard braking zone. So if he had someone in front of him, like we remember it was a couple of years ago, Kvyat almost wiped out someone.
I'm just mean safest in terms of that incident were to
Oh, no
happen.
barrier-
Yeah,
no
no
barrier,
barriers or anything to hit.
Yeah, definitely that. At least there were no cars in front of him.
Nothing in front of him. If you were to brakes fail, go through any kind of barrier, that is what you want.
But him like exploding through that styrofoam was
like,
just
oh,
like
yeah.
a perfect summary of
Yeah,
Ferrari's
yeah.
season. And my favorite was like on the lap, he's like, brakes failed, like if brake line exploded, and they're like, okay, stop the car. Motherfucker, I said the brakes failed.
Yeah, you
Like,
can't stop the car. A little slow. Yeah, it was funny when he was coming down pit lane and Brundle was saying like, "Oh, they're gonna have to get 20 mechanics to catch him here." Yeah,
See how that works.
sounds awful.
It's like we've seen that in NASCAR before, right? Whoop.
Yeah, the guy goes flying over the windshield.
But what was interesting in this video was making the rounds on Twitter, because I see you got it queued up, was Vettel after his Q1 exit didn't go home, was watching qualifying from the Parabolica.
He doesn't get to watch races, man. I would want to be like, if you were a driver, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go like be a fan today.
Why not, right?
Yeah.
To scout the Williams.
Yeah.
But listen to the end here. I think he's like talks about one of the McLarens.
He hit the apex.
Didn't hit the apex.
Oh, is that what he's checking?
Yeah. He's like two. So he said two McLarens left.
Yeah. I love at the end where he's like, why is my car so shit? Like, I should be out there. I just thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a nice camera angle as well.
That is cool, and it shows how much he loves the sport, right? Like you could see him maybe after he's retired too, doing something.
Seems like that retirement
know,
is on
man.
hold.
Maybe.
As we segue into the breaking news.
Oh, I really want to talk about the blankets.
You want to do that first?
You want to do that first? Okay. Breaking news.
This is really important.
Yeah, that
Somebody
is-
get Kimi some goddamn blankets.
Get him his gloves, get him his drink.
steering wheel. Hey,
Now he needs his blanket.
All okay in the crash?
Yeah, jump out of the car. So
I
don't
mean,
know why
that's
there's a red
I
flag. Maybe for
think I
the
missed that
barrier,
part in
we
the
will
original
try.
video.
Blankets on the tires as quickly as we can.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Still great.
Come on,
So
move.
the plan is we will get at least 10-minute warning before we have the restart. So if you want to stay in the car, stay in the car. If you want to jump out, jump
Okay,
out.
but where's the blankets?
Cut some out.
You're allowed to put... Yeah, put it on then. Stop saying that you're putting. Let's put them on. Found them, put them on.
Yeah,
Find
yeah.
them, put them on.
classic.
Did anybody else notice that Charles Leclerc is also Kimi's race engineer?
What?
Yeah, go back and listen to this guy. Does he not sound like Charles?
Yeah, jump out of the car. So I don't know. why
Oh my
there's-
God.
man.
Like imagine him saying, "I am stupid. I am stupid."
That's crazy.
It's on the tires as quickly as we can.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Come on,
yeah.
guys.
Like if you go back to, I think it's coming up when he speaks
So
more.
the plan is we will get at least 10-minute warning before we have the restart. So if you want to stay in the car, stay in the car. If you want to jump out, jump
Okay,
out.
but where's the blankets?
Yeah,
That's pretty impressive, right?
That's pretty crazy.
It's crazy how
Crashed
Charles
into
can
the
just
barriers?
crashed into
Right?
it.
Yeah. I also saw a video of
How do
Charles
we know
running
what-
away.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
How do we know it's not him, right? I mean,
Yeah, I was gonna say, how do we not know? Like, he's just
like he did run when he got out of the car. He did run, so maybe he was running to the.
He's like, I gotta talk to Kimi.
He had to talk to Kimi.
he's gonna look for his blankets. Run, guys. So that was not the breaking news.
No,
but
but the blankets, we still have not found them.
that's right. I think Kimi has found his gloves. He's got his steering wheel.
Needs blankets.
He still won't have the drink.
No, he did not. It was down his
Yeah.
leg last race.
Yeah.
We'll see where it is next race.
So yeah, we'll give you guys an update. But so moving on to the official,
Kimi's just hit old age racing mode.
Yeah,
He just
that's
doesn't
okay.
get.
sponsored by Depend. Okay, well, the actual breaking news, and I'm very glad that this happened before we recorded this, and actually it's kind of an advantage of recording a few days on from a race, is being able to catch up on some of the breaking news before it actually happening, usually after we record. But if you haven't heard, which you probably have, it's that Sergio Perez and Racing Point are no longer. He will be leaving the team at the end of this 2020 season, so he's got 9 races left. And that essentially, it hasn't been confirmed yet, maybe by the time this video comes out on Thursday or by Friday free practice, that Sebastian Vettel will be joining Racing Point / Aston Martin for 2021. So this is breaking right on the air. I'd like to know what do you guys think about that?
We saw it all coming. But it was kind of it's like surreal seeing Sergio Perez leaving Racing Point because they've been together for 7 years. When you think of Sergio Perez, you think of Force India and Racing Point. So it's kind of weird seeing it in writing. But we all knew it was going to happen. Lance wasn't losing his ride, and we kind of had a figure that Vettel was going to head over to Racing Point with all the elbows that they've been giving each other and whatever. So it's interesting for Sergio because now where does he go? Does he go to Alfa Romeo, where was Sauber? He started his career there. Is there an open seat at Haas maybe that he can squeeze on into?
Does he want to go to Haas?
I don't think he has a choice if he wants to stay in F1. I think it's going to be one of those two.
I mean, he does provide Haas with a lot of money when he comes there, so that is that's going to be a benefit for them.
And I think Haas will be looking for someone who's experienced. Like, they don't want a young kid in their cars. They can't really afford that. So, two options there. I can't really think of anywhere else he could end up.
That would probably be it, unless Red Bull wanted to move Albon down to AlphaTauri, bump Kvyat out, and move in Perez, which is very highly unlikely.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think Perez would be like, no, give me the top tier car.
Well, that's what I mean, though. He would go to Red Bull.
Oh,
Albon would go back to AlphaTauri, and then Kvyat would be, unfortunately, out of the seat.
Okay, so I already presumed Gasly was going up.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Shaker.
I'm going to say, so after Pierre Gasly's win, I think this is a missed opportunity for Toro Rosso. The dream team right now, for me, Sebastian Vettel, Pierre Gasly. Ultimate team right there.
That is an ultimate team.
But it makes sense, though, when you brought it up, because it's like the only two guys to ever win a race for them. So put them in the same team.
Put them in the same team. You got a guy who's in his mid-30s who can talk you through all like the main like issues that you have. He knows cars inside and out. Then you got a young mid-20-year-old who wants to fight for a big team, and Toro Rosso can be a good team. They've shown it. They won 2 podiums this year. In the last year. But yeah, as soon as I saw this come through, I was like, oh man, like wouldn't have happened. But it would have been such a good thing to see like both those 2 winners come through those teams.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Right? I brought this up to Chris, and I'm like, that's the dream team.
Yeah.
That's what I like about you, Shakers. You always bring up the things that like you never think about.
No.
You know what I mean? Like it's a unique way. I'm like, you know what? That could work.
Yeah.
He goes back to the team he started with. Right there alongside Gasly. And apparently Gasly has he sees Vettel as like an idol. I saw him quote something like that where he like massively respects Vettel and almost looks at him as like one of his racing idols. So I was like, that'd be a great team.
Father Seb.
Yeah.
Father Seb.
Exactly. It's interesting because it's sort of this whole Racing Point Sergio Perez situation is kind of like good news, bad news. Because on the one hand, if Vettel is confirmed for Aston Martin for next season, I'm happy because he stays in the sport. And I think he's going to be going to a much friendlier and much better environment for him than Ferrari the last couple of years. In terms of the fact that he could actually build something with Aston Martin, especially with the way that obviously the copy of Mercedes, whatever you want to call it. So they're going to have a decent car for next year, much better than Ferrari, if this year shows us anything, obviously. So he might actually have a chance to get some podiums next year and maybe even a race win if he's lucky, like Lance Stroll had the opportunity. So on that side of things, I'm like, okay, I'm really glad that Vettel's staying in the sport. He's my favorite driver. I think he's excellent for the sport.
He's moving up the grid.
He's moving up the grid, right? Yeah, which is hilarious. But at the same time, though, it's like, man, loyalty really doesn't matter that much in Formula One. I don't know if it ever did, but here's a guy, like you mentioned, Perez, with the team 7 years. Let's not forget he's the guy that saved a ton of jobs at Force India when they went into administration before Lawrence Stroll stepped in. He's brought them a lot of finances through his sponsors, and he's also helped build the team into the best of the rest in the midfield the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And now they're like, yeah, you know what, Sergio? Sorry, don't need you anymore. We're obviously not going to kick out the boss's son.
No, he's got a podium.
He's got fourth in championship,
he's
right?
He got the first podium in Racing Point history.
Yep.
You cannot do that.
True. And
it could be the only.
But see, that's the problem, though, right? Is like I do believe Lance Stroll deserves a seat in F1, and I think he's been driving really well this season. But if I'm a team manager and you're saying who do you want in your team, a Sergio Perez, Sebastian Vettel lineup would be phenomenal. Phenomenal.
I mean, there's also Williams next year. They have a brand new team, technically. New.
Okay, now you lost me.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Don't see it happening?
No.
Calling it, boys, right now. Next year. Not at all. That's not going to happen.
No way.
So it's tough. It's tough in that sense because I think Perez is a fantastic driver, and I think he does deserve a shot in another team. But again, what he's built with Racing Point to become Aston Martin, you have this new Aston Martin project coming on as a works team. You've got a lot of finances behind them. This is the first time that, if you look at the history of Racing Point, Force India, Minardi, going back to the team's origins, it's the first time they've really had some significant financial backing like Lawrence Stroll. So it's a unique situation for Perez. He could have possibly built himself as a race winner in the future. You don't know what's going to happen with the new regulations, right? They could become like a powerhouse. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. So I don't know, man. It's really tough. It's unfortunate because I feel bad for Sergio. But again, we expected that Lance Stroll was never going to lose his seat. He deserves a seat, but it's a tough situation to be in.
Yeah, no, for sure. But it'll be interesting because now silly season dominoes start to fall.
Yeah.
We had a little taste of it when Fernando Alonso's coming back to F1 next year. I don't think people remember that. He's coming back to F1.
I still
right?
remember that.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay.
You know what reminded me of it? This is going to be a fire team next year.
It is going to be fire. There's going to be a lot of emotion on the radio. I guess we could segue to this.
We're segueing at 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, to Esteban.
Fantastic job there. Fantastic job. Well done, mate. P8 from P12. That's not bad at all. Daniel, P6. Good points for the team again. Well done, mate.
Yeah, copy. I disagree. I think we missed out completely this race. It was a massive
Okay,
opportunity.
just hold it on the radio, please. Hold it on the radio. We'll talk about it in the office. Thank you.
No, we have to face.
Please, do
what's the
not
reality?
talk
Esteban,
on
this
the
is not
radio.
the place.
GP2 engine.
Copy.
You know what's interesting about this, though, is on YouTube, you can find the full radio where his engineer's repeatedly telling him, make sure to drink all the fluid. Drink all the fluid, which is probably code word for shut the fuck up, Esteban. So
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like the fire coming out of Esteban there. He's
Yeah.
like, no, let's call a spade a spade. We screwed
He's
up. We
right.
should have won, which is fine. Like, I'm glad that they're talking about, like, he's wants to talk about it. And Renault's just trying to save their a little bit of embarrassment. But that's a good fight you want out of Esteban because you got him for next year too. He's going to be learning under Fernando next year. And you want Renault to be, where the McLarens were this last race, where AlphaTauri was this last race. And it could have been a race winner.
Yes, for sure.
So I understand his frustration. I think it's something that Renault should be looking at and being like, you know what? Thank God he's like this, rather than like, yeah, it was okay, and just sit back and take the points.
Well, it's like you said, Shaker. They better be ready for this next year with Fernando coming back.
Yeah,
'Cause you imagine those like,
Man.
so Fernando, how's the car? Yeah, engine feels good. Much slower than before.
Yeah.
Like that's what you're gonna get next year. I mean, Alonso's not gonna give a shit about the PR thing, and I'm not sure what the reasoning was. Like you said, maybe their CEO was there, or they just wanted to, not air their grievances over the radio. There's probably a handful of reasons. but
Probably
that's-
because they didn't want us to talk about it. You know, like the journalists or the podcasters or fans.
Yeah, but I mean, I was going to talk about how Renault messed up anyway.
Honestly, this incident would not have been that bad if he says, like, no, I think we should have deserved better. I think it's the fact that the engineer comes back and goes, let's not talk about this right
do
now.
not talk.
I think that's what makes the incident a lot worse. Because if it was any other driver and he was like, no, I think we should have deserved it. Carlos Sainz does that every other week.
George Russell said it in qualifying.
Yeah, and
he's-
we don't make a big deal out of it because their engineers don't talk back and be like, shut the fuck up. It's a weird incident to happen. Your race engineer shouldn't be telling you to keep it quiet because he just finished a race that he thought he should have deserved to win. Of course, he's going to be emotional about it. So
Yeah.
I think the fact that the engineer is like, this is not the place, just makes it that much worse.
Yeah, I don't mind it too much from Esteban. I know some people were giving him a hard time, but I do think that Renault should have been a little bit bolder on this strategy, and they should have been there because after Belgium, they seemed like they were the best shot at a podium. And the fact that AlphaTauri goes and wins the race, and then McLaren is on the podium, Racing Point, and you're languishing in 6th and 8th place, like you guys got to step up. And what better time to step up than that race when you had a lot of shit and a very big fan.
Yeah.
And Renault were nowhere to be found. And that's the story of the last couple of years for them. So
Yeah. And I mean, they've had decent pace, at least with Danny. Danny Rick has been solid with them.
yeah, so it's good though. I mean, Ocon's a winner. He likes to win. A lot of people don't like him, but he's a winner.
I hate him. I think he's awful.
Really?
I'm not a fan.
Oh,
I thought we all knew this because of the whole Max Verstappen incident from a few years
No,
back.
he's the beauty.
Dutch people are just like subscribe.
No, it was all Max's fault.
I
Anyways.
also,
Stop saying that, man.
I don't know. Just not a fan of Esteban. Even when I watched the F1 documentary before that entire incident happened, I just was not a fan of him as a driver.
Oh, I like Esteban.
I'm not the
Oh.
biggest fan, but we'll see. All I'm saying is that Danny Rick has kind of put a halt to the Ocon train this season. But we'll see how. I'm interested to see what he does next year with Alonso because I think that could be an explosive partnership.
Yeah, it could be. It could be the Perez.
Yeah,
If they start getting together. Ooh,
exactly. That would be
it
fun.
could be messy for Renault.
Actually, while we're on the topic of Renault, do you guys know that they're changing their name?
Yeah.
Alpine or Alpine?
It's apparently to go. It's not Alpine. It is Alpine. Because there is an Alpine racing. I was having this debate with my buddy, and he was the one who told me about it.
Yeah.
But it's apparently because there is another French racing team named Alpine, and they just to make it all one name, they're kind of just doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, so they're gonna be what, Alpine Renault?
I think just Alpine, right?
Just Alpine Racing, I believe.
What?
Too many new teams to follow now.
Why?
Because
Corporate.
Oh, that's boring.
Maybe they shave off the Renault name and they'll have better luck.
Why Renault? Yeah, why is?
But although I don't want the Renault name out of F1 either.
Yeah, like the Renault name in F1's, you're supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Huh.
Anyway, that just popped into my mind while I was talking about all the Renault stuff.
Interesting. Well, I don't like it. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm sure they'll change it now.
Yeah, they will. I finger wagged them.
Okay, what else did we have from this race? There was a lot to talk about. We talked a little bit about Lance Stroll. He could have won the race had he had a much better restart. And somebody mentioned this in the comments in one of our recent videos. Can't remember who it was. But they said
I
that...
like that logo, though.
Is that the new logo?
Is that the
Yeah.
logo? Are they gonna be gold still
not
then?
bad.
Are they? Oh, they're gonna see like gold flake cars.
No, they're including some blue in the livery.
That's.
Oh,
I like
yeah.
this.
Alonso hinted this. He said all we needed was some blue in the livery and everything would be good.
Yeah, so he knew.
It's like he knew.
Yeah, for sure.
But if they make it like a gold flake on the car,
I think it's
Gold flake.
fantastic.
make a gold flake on a F1 car.
I had to see it
I'd
first.
buy a model of that in a second. I don't care if it's last on the grid, as long as it looks nice.
Yeah, if it's a throwback to their old colors.
Yeah, it was brought up by
I would
Renault
like
in
that.
19. Yeah, okay, so it's one of their car. I don't know. It was ceased production in 1985.
It's a road car.
Yeah, it's a road car.
Huh. Okay. Well, we'll
yeah,
see.
the power
It'll take
unit
some
will still
adjusting.
be Renault branded, obviously. Cause,
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
Alpine engines.
Yeah.
I
don't know
hope
what
not.
that would be.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Just another a new team to add on to the grid next year.
Yeah, we're gonna be all confused now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh well.
Sorry, what were you talking about, Chris?
Yeah, just Stroll. Somebody was commenting that Lance is obviously really known for his really good starts, especially the last couple of years. Obviously, being at the back end of the grid, he's been known to make up a few places, but he wasn't able to save his best start for when he needed it the most, and eventually dropped back behind Kimi, but eventually did get up into P3. So I'm just saying that had he gotten a much better start, probably would have went out and won the race.
Yeah, I mean the mistake going into the missing that turn as well. What was it, turn
4-5 chicane? Yeah.
That didn't help either.
Yeah.
Because he lost a place, I think, and then he couldn't really recover from there. But he was ahead of Sainz at that time, I believe.
Yep.
So if he would have got past Raikkonen, I mean, then the chase is on. You have 3 cars really fighting for it, and you could see Stroll maybe pushing for the win, and he was in the best situation to win, I think. During the red flag, and just it didn't work out for him, which is too bad. But it doesn't matter. We got a great race out of it. And he's shown that he can really have perform well and make up spots. I mean, he got a little lucky with the red flag.
Yeah.
But he's been very solid this year, and I think that it's a growing year for him, having a top end car underneath him.
And he's 4th now in the championship.
Yeah,
which is pretty crazy. It's very close now, though, obviously, between him and the likes of who else is in the standings there? I forget who's exactly behind him. Norris is there as well. So it's really close between those drivers in the end of the day. But the fact that he's into the top 5 is obviously big.
It's tied.
Yeah, tied with Norris. But, another factor that you also have to mention in the whole Perez discussion is he did miss 2 races. So when you're comparing the team comparison, like he missed 2 races, which is obviously massive, especially in this season.
Yeah, but like, are you talking about because of COVID? Because I think they ended up missing out those races anyways that Nico did race. He didn't finish those races, so he would have missed out on points anyways.
Sergio?
Stroll?
Or are you talking about Stroll or Perez?
When Nico came in for Sergio, I think one race he didn't even play. He didn't even race. The second race, I don't think he finished.
Second race, he finished like P7 or something like that.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we don't know what would have happened had Perez been in the race, but obviously, he just had to default those races, wasn't able to start. So if you're looking at the teammate comparison, you have to be honest in that sense and say Stroll got to run 2 extra races in which I think he finished in the points in one of them. So, yeah, you have that. But at the end of the day, still 4th in the championship, the highest he's ever been in the driver's standing. So good for young Lance.
Yeah.
Another Canadian as well, Nicholas Latifi, guys. So much stuff going on in that race. Hard to notice, but he went from P20 to P11.
He almost had points.
Had points again.
Yeah. Second time in the series to finish 11th.
Yeah, and it always happens in this crazy race. First time was in Austria, first race of the year, and now again here.
Yeah, he had a phenomenal race. He's very good off the line.
Yeah,
especially like that lap 1, kind of need to make up places. I don't think he's lost. The stat could be wrong, but I don't think he's lost a place on lap 1.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
So if you started, he's usually starting 20th. So that would it's hard to lose a place. But anyways, he's been very good off the line, and another solid drive for him. It would have been really nice for Williams to get a point on the last race with Claire and Frank Williams involved in Williams racing. Would have been a nice bow on the whole race. Unfortunately, Hamilton didn't slow up enough. He could have been a nice guy. But solid drive for him, and I think we should give Williams a little kudos here for what they've done for the sport. Frank Williams, of course, and then Claire coming in and doing a fantastic job. It's been a tough last few years for them. But their legacy will always live on of a legendary team, the last family-run F1 team, which is crazy to think that they were doing that with the money that these teams spend. It was really impressive how long they stayed on for. But
top 3 team at one point.
Yeah,
so, probably. Well, they're probably up there in top 5, top 3 best teams in all of F1 history.
I think they're second behind Ferrari.
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna say they're
crazy.
probably really up there. Yeah.
Yeah. So congrats to them for all the success they had in years past, and I just want to thank them for all the amazing things and memories that they've given F1 fans over the years.
Yeah, it's pretty sad because it's like the end of an era and the last independent owner and private owner in that sense. So it's really hard for them to stick around in this time and age. But it's unfortunate that it came to an end so quickly. I was surprised that they left, now. I thought they were going to see out the end of the season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, hopefully brighter days are ahead for Williams. We talked about it last episode about the new management, so we'll see how that goes in the next year or so.
Keeping the name, which is important.
That is important
I
for
think,
sure. Yeah,
and the owners, I think, knew that, which is good.
Yeah.
And the drivers want that, of course. I think everyone wants that, just to have the Williams name there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just hope it sticks around too, and they don't shuffle it around. But then again, teams like Ferrari have stuck it around for the whole entirety of Formula One. But we've seen a lot of teams come and go, and the fact that Frank Williams in his small little garage has gone to the point where he's the second most successful team, I think, in Formula One. The legends have driven at Williams, won world championships, Mansell and Piquet and Damon Hill, Jacques Villeneuve. So the fact that he was able to do that from where he started, again, it's insane. Great Netflix documentary, I think, on Williams is still available if you want more about that history. So, yeah, hopefully they can find some good things to come after Formula One.
Yeah.
All right. What else did I have in here? We talked about Latifi. Just quickly, we talked the quality mode ban. I'm not sure if what are your thoughts on it? Did it work or not? I think what's interesting is that this track is a little bit more a unique track in the sense of how important the slipstream is. So maybe when we go to a circuit like Sochi, we'll see a little bit more of the quality mode ban come into effect.
Mugello might be like that too.
Yeah,
Mugello's a lot of high downforce turns.
Yeah. Well, Mugello also has that really long, start finish straight, where we'll see where the deficits are. Like you said, Tyler, I think Honda has been another team that's most affected by it. Mercedes maybe struggled a little bit more in the overtaking during the race. I think that's where we saw it hamper them more is in the race. Williams have lost out a little bit. Obviously, they qualified 19th and 20th, which didn't really happen that often actually this year before this ban. So Ross Brawn was immediately calling for the reverse grid qualifying to come back, but I don't think that's going to work, guys.
No, the only way you do that is you have to have 2 races. So you have to have 2 races per Grand Prix weekend, and the teams aren't going to do that.
Like an F2, yeah.
Well, they are doing that right now. Some places. Just week after week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I'm sorry. So you think about these triple headers. You'd have 6 races in 3 weeks. I mean, that's crazy.
Technically, we got 2 races in Monza, right?
We did, yeah. We did. But, if Vettel and Hamilton had this question last year or the year before or whatever, and I think Vettel said, like, whoever came up with that idea is an absolute idiot, and that's not how you fix F1. And like Hamilton just laughed, basically like, yeah, what he said. And I have to agree with them, because that's not how you fix F1, is to reverse grid. I mean, it's easier in F2 and in F3 because they have, for the most part, the same cars.
Yes.
Like, it's very, very similar with the chassis and everything, where F1, it's all up to the teams. So, yeah, not the right answer to fixing F1. There's a lot of other things. The budget cap, I think, is a good step, but we'll see how 2022 comes.
Well, that's what just makes me so mad sometimes about F1. It's like you have real problems you could address, and then they just try and fix things that don't. Like, remember the qualifying session that they tried to implement elimination 6 years ago, whenever it was?
God, that was awful.
Like, nothing was a problem with the current qualifying format. So it's like, why are you changing stuff that works when you can actually focus on, like exactly what you said, change the damn racing so that 4 or 5 teams could potentially win a race instead of the same 2 or 1 in the last couple of years.
Literally just one.
Literally just one this year. But it's like, hey guys, let's change it to reverse grid qualifying. That'll change it. And just by the way, it's like if you did reverse grid qualifying in Monza from lap 1, I guarantee you Hamilton would have still won that race.
Oh, 100%.
We're just lucky the red flag came out at like lap 28 when we were already halfway through.
If Hamilton had 10 more laps, he would have won that race.
Probably.
10?
Yeah.
You think 10?
I think 10.
Could have happened, yeah.
Oh, yeah, maybe. It would have been close.
All the rest of the competition were pretty close to each other. He had to fight more to beat the back, I would say.
Yeah.
And not only that, but other people made the point too that if we did that and we had more often, like let's say AlphaTauri winning races, it wouldn't be as special.
No,
that's true.
So the fact that like this probably won't happen again for a really long time, although it'd be nice to see like McLaren get a win soon or something like that. The reason why this race was so incredible was because it's AlphaTauri's first win in more than 10 years.
Yeah.
So if we had that happen every other week because of the reverse grid shuffle or whatever, it wouldn't be as special. So I think that's a good point made as well.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So it's not the answer. I think a lot of people are like, no, leave that reverse grid talk at the door.
Yeah, leave it at F2. It's fun in F2, but not at F1.
Yeah.
I think they should just move F1 to America. That will fix everything. I'm one of you guys now.
Yeah. You're one of the Americans, right?
Those Americans.
Yeah. Watch an IndyCar race, folks, and see for yourself. Don't
It's
listen
very
to us.
entertaining.
Yeah.
It's one of the more entertaining racing you can watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, one of the final things that we'll touch on, because obviously the race this week in Mugello, is Ferrari's new livery celebrating 1,000th races in Formula One. They just released this today, and I want to talk about Vettel afterwards and how he's sticking it up Ferrari's you-know-what. But what did you guys think of this livery? I know, Tyler, you liked it.
I love it. I think it is absolutely beautiful. If I can find a model car of this and they put it out, I will buy it in a heartbeat. They got the burgundy that resembles the same color that they raced in their first ever Grand Prix. They got a big 1,000 on the shark fin, you could say. I like how they changed the font of the numbers. I think that looks a lot crisper than what they have now.
Mm-hmm.
And the overall gloss of the design is really, really nice. You don't see gloss on a Ferrari. At least you have it in a long time. So I think it's they did a beautiful. What was the last gloss? I think 2014 or 2015.
I don't know. Was the 2018 a gloss one?
I don't think so.
2018 was a
matte.
gloss one.
Oh, I thought they went matte.
No, I think 2019 was matte.
Oh, okay.
Because
So
I
the
remember
first matte,
commenting,
yeah.
being like, "Oh, look at that matte finish! It looks so different."
I like the gloss much better, though.
Yeah, gloss does look way better. But yeah, no, and the yellow stands out with like I like how the 1,000 yellow is the same yellow as the Ferrari emblem. I think it looks beautiful. It's a very, very nice looking car. I think they could just run it like this.
I think
I think it looks great, and it was a great marketing strategy for Ferrari to make up some money this year.
Not wrong. Not wrong.
I wonder if the pace will be the same as the 1950 car. They're
I think
trying
the
to
paint might
celebrate.
weigh it down. The paint might weigh it down.
Yeah, they should have painted it camouflage. So
I
we
think
don't
it's
see their
getting a
pace.
solid 14th place for Sebastian.
That's a 15th place looking livery right there. Well,
It's
you know
like an
what's-
AlphaTauri to me.
Hey, don't insult them by comparing them to
sorry.
AlphaTauri.
Yeah,
AlphaTauri's a
AlphaTauri
race
are
winner.
race winners.
I meant to say Alfa Romeo. Sorry. Sorry.
Even
sorry.
that's an insult.
Yeah, they're better than them.
Sorry.
Both drivers finished the race, Tyler.
You know what's weird about? I think I'm gonna actually like it much better in the real pictures.
I'm sure I will too. This looks
like
like
a
a
cheap
model
Photoshop.
car. Yeah, this looks like a model car to me, and that's probably why I don't like it.
That's probably
Yeah.
why I want to buy it as a
Yeah,
model car.
it legit just looks like a model car, and I'm like, this looks like it's about an inch big.
It's a weird looking kind
Yeah.
of photo. I don't know if it's CGI'd or if they actually took it like that, but it's like there's a weird harsh light on the tire on the left side at the rear, and it just kind of makes it look like
Whoever
it's
used Lightroom for this picture, you're awful.
terrible.
Yeah, this is not a good edit.
Well, I mean, it's Ferrari. That's,
I don't know. I like it, so whatever. Screw you
I think
guys.
I'll like it too.
That's what
I
I'm
just wanna see
saying.
a
We're
real picture.
we're saying we're probably gonna like it. We're
I just
saying
don't
this
like the
pic- I don't
Photoshop.
like the photo. Yeah, I'm just
All right.
not a big fan.
Okay.
Take the Ferrari logo off and I'll like it.
I think
Give me a faster car, and then I'll probably like it.
I think the news we can all agree on, though, for sure, is that Mick Schumacher. It'll be nice to see him racing an F1
Yeah,
car.
yeah, for sure.
Although we thought it would be practice, it's not. Unfortunately, it's he's be touring the F2004 around
It's way better.
Mugello, which is probably a faster car, of course what Michael Schumacher raced for Ferrari. So that'll be cool to see that car go around the track one more time.
Yeah, for fun. That's going to sound amazing too.
Yeah, it will
in,
sound
in
really
Mugello. It's just funny that it's it's their 1,000th race, right? This is so special, everything. And Vettel decides to drop most likely this big bombshell news that he's going to Aston Martin. I just think that's poetic.
I think that was definitely planned.
Oh yeah,
There's
Has
no
to
way this entire setup was not planned with Sergio dropping out, and yeah, there's no way.
yeah. Seb knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
Good for him. I like it. Stick it up where they belong for Ferrari. So I hope that that gets revealed. But yeah, we'll see. Probably by the time this video comes out, we might have official confirmation. But yeah, it should be interesting to see what happens. All right. What is the score?
It's Raptors are by 4 with 38 seconds left in double overtime.
Ooh, okay, we better run then.
Crazy.
See what's going to happen with that. But that'll do it for us, folks. That is the 2020 Italian Grand Prix recap and also breaking news edition. A little bit of a fun one today because we have some of that news.
And we get a new track, kind of.
Yes.
Next week. So it'll be fun
Yep.
to see Mugello, how it turns out. Hopefully it turns out to be a great race. The circuit looks nice. Looks like it could be fun. Hard to overtake, maybe.
Yeah, qualifying will be amazing.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I think it'll be a good weekend. It's nice to see these one-off tracks.
Yeah, it's fresh, right? So it's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
And again, it's special, right? 1,000 Grand Prix celebration for Ferrari, and also a lot of interesting things. Coming off the buzz of Pierre Gasly's win will be a lot of fun. So drop down in the comments below. Let us know what you thought of the Italian Grand Prix. What stood out to you? Do you have any comments on anything that we brought up today? The whole Racing Point news. As always, just drop it in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And check out our Mugello track guide if you guys are not familiar with the circuit and you want to know a little bit more before Friday. We got that up on the channel as well. Any final thoughts, guys?
No, I'm excited for Mugello.
Yeah.
Great weekend, and let's continue this trend of great F1.
That's right.
Yeah.
McLaren win this weekend, folks.
Yeah, this has been probably the most exciting F1 year in a long time. So, yeah, I'm hoping they keep it up. And, yeah, excited to see what Mugello looks like.
Awesome. Good. Glad to have everybody again for another episode. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button, hit a subscribe, those notifications on your right, just so you get a notification every time we post a new video. And all of our social media links can be found on the homepage of our channel. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you after the Mugello Grand Prix. Bye now.
See ya.
See ya.